Hey y'all, welcome back to The Burrow. I'm Hillary, your resident fragrance-loving muggle, and today I'm going to go over my most worn perfumes of 2021, so stay tuned. So I have my top 10 fragrances that I wore last year. I have them kind of separated into some fragrances that I wear mostly for bedtime, some fragrances for warmer days, some for cooler days, and then just my most worn fragrance overall. So we'll start with the 3 fragrances that I usually wear to bed, and those are Gallivant's Brooklyn. Now this is a really nice powdery iris fragrance with a lot of citrus elements to it as well. This fragrance is very uplifting and happy, but also soft, so I definitely enjoy wearing this one to bed. Next is House of Matriarchs, The Longing. I find this fragrance to be very difficult to describe because it is so complex, but mostly this is a smooth, woody fragrance with some mature sweetness added by some nondescript florals. It also has a buttery texture. It does have a note of butter, but I do not find this to be lactonic. It's more just this smooth, just luxurious texture throughout the fragrance, and it's gorgeous. That is The Longing from House of Matriarch. And third, I have my favorite from Mugler. This is from the Les Exceptions line, and this is Over the Musk. Now this fragrance really focuses on ambrette or musk mallow, and if you don't know what ambrette smells like, this is basically a clean, musky fragrance, but it has this really thick texture to it that has kind of a darker edge without going into skanky, and that's not very easy to understand, I guess, but it is really good. It's a perfect fragrance for bedtime, and I find that it's kind of a little sultry as well, and I just love this fragrance a lot. So moving on to our 3 fragrances for warmer weather. First up, we have 4160 Tuesdays, What I Did on My Holidays. I've obviously put a good sized dent in this one because I just love it so much. This fragrance really smells like a coconut-based non-dairy mint ice cream. And it has this freezer burn kind of texture as well. So this literally smells cold and crisp while also having this beautiful creaminess along with it. And I just find it to be extremely unique and nice and refreshing for those hot days. Next up, we have Figueidon from Armani Privé. Now, this fragrance, although it may not be my favorite favorite fig fragrance, I do find it to be really nice and pleasant. This has a very green, very citrusy kind of atmosphere to it. It does not have a lot of depth, and it also doesn't last very long, but I do find it to be perfect for perhaps office wear, if you're going to be around somebody who is maybe fragrance sensitive. I do, however, definitely get Isoe Super from this, and Yara gets a lot of ambroxan from this. I luckily do not, because I'm not a huge fan of ambroxan, but just be aware that, you know, try to sample this if you can, especially if you're sensitive to either of those molecules. So that is Figueidon from Armani Privé. And the last of the warm weather fragrances, I have Bottega Veneta from the Parco Palladino line. This is Violetta, number 9, or as Yara says, Ix. This is a beautiful violet fragrance. The only notes that are listed are violet, woody notes, and white musk. I honestly don't get a very musky texture from this. To me, this is a very tart, kind of slick, wet violet. It definitely is more floral, less peppery. I just find this to be a very beautiful fragrance. It definitely does give me this kind of purple tinge, or perhaps even, you know, smells the way that you think a crystal would smell coming out of the earth. It's just cold, crisp, very clean, a beautiful fragrance. That is Bottega Veneta, Parco Palladino 9 Violetta. That is a long name, but it's this one in the purple bottle. Okay, so next we have our 3 cooler weather fragrances. I say cooler weather, but I do wear these year round, but I kind of prefer to wear these when it's a little bit colder because I feel like these really cut through the wind. So first off is Love Tuberose from Amouage. Now this is a really beautiful like white floral bouquet. There's tuberose, there's jasmine, gardenia in here, but there's also whipped cream and vanilla. this fragrance is very playful for tuberose. It is not a mature tuberose, it is not an immature tuberose. This is kind of just your middle-aged, go out and have fun kind of tuberose, whatever that means. But this is very creamy, very vanillic. I was suggested this fragrance from Eva from Fragrance Test Tube, and I have been obsessed with it ever since I bought it. So this is a beautiful tuberose. This is Love Tuberose from Amouage. Next we have from 1,000 Flowers, Réglisse Noir. Now this is a beautiful licorice fragrance. This is licorice, star anise, mint, cacao. This basically smells like a black jelly bean. I know that's not something for everybody, but I love the smell of licorice, and this is just a beautiful, fresh, but also kind of spicy and rich fragrance, and it's beautiful. Réglisse Noir from 1,000 Flowers. And then we have from Amouage, again, I guess I have two from Amouage in this set. This is Sunshine Man. Now this fragrance is a beautiful immortelle and lavender fragrance. So this fragrance kind of has this texture of halwa, which is a Middle Eastern dessert that's basically sesame based. But this is rich and creamy, kind of caramely over top of that lavender, and it is just so unique and impossible for me to describe exactly the way that it smells, but this is an absolute powerhouse. I usually only wear one to two sprays of it, and it is absolutely gorgeous. This is definitely a fragrance that I like to wear going out, and yeah, that is Sunshine Man from Amouage. And last but not least, my most worn fragrance of 2021 is Lancome's Poem. Now this perfume, it has so many notes, it is so complex, but I think of this as the ultimate top yellow floral fragrance. It has basically every flower known to man in it, I think. There is ylang and tuberose and mimosa and orange blossom and other things, it doesn't matter, and some vanilla. This perfume, it smells different on me every time I wear it, but overall it's kind of tropically, but also just has this beautiful airy flow to it. I feel like this fragrance just makes me feel put together. It's very classic, but not out of date at the same time. It's just a beautiful fragrance, and that is Lancome's Poem. So those were my top 10 fragrances that I wore all of last year, and obviously I have put huge dents in all of them, even in just a short amount of time. So yeah, and if any of you have any videos that you definitely want to see from me here in the near future, I'm going to try to start getting videos out more often. I say that a lot, but I promise I'm going to try this time. So thank you guys so much for stopping by the Burrow, and yeah, I can't wait to see you guys again soon. Toodles!